Ever wonder what it's like behind a big budget commercial? Let me walk you through it. So we got approached by the Nissan team to help them with putting together a video about the installation and the quality and finish and everything about the details of the Nismo parts that are coming out for the new Nissan Z and the Frontier. So the first thing that we did was we have a bunch of Zoom meetings. We get a couple drafts of the script. I make some modifications to it, making sure it kind of sounds like me. However, we want to make sure that we're hitting all the marks. Go through the parts that are going to be installed and kind of have a whole storyboard of the shoot. And there's going to be an action element to it as well, which is really cool. It's not just the garage stuff. It was also getting the car out in the streets of Long Beach and taking the truck out in the mountains of California. We're up at a ski resort just north of LA. Gorgeous set, and so it's summertime, so it's all, you know, just dirt and grass, which is really cool to, you know, be ripping up and down these hills. Push door going up. And when I'm driving, please let me know to speed up or slow down.
You got it. Chris, come down the main road to your right. It'd be the road to your right that you've been driving on all day. Come down that road.
Copy. Call it out.
Action, 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 action.
Gets a little bumpy. Oh yeah, it gets a little
Dude.
Couple squirrels.
So sick. Wow. Big off-road guy.
Oh yeah. It was really cool because, you know, as things are happening, you know, you're dealing with the elements, you're dealing with, you know, lack of communication, you're not in a closed set like this, you're way on a mountain. So when someone tells you to do something, like, you better do it fast because once again, you're gonna hold up the whole train and there's a lot of people involved.
Yeah, we can't do those fingers off like that. Put in the car, whatever you need, here we go. No?
And so there's always the pressure of like, okay, did I do that right? It was really cool to work with the arm car up there too, because we're like, you know, just hitting these like ruts and roots and, you know, sliding the truck around a little bit. And definitely, I think I had more fun driving the truck, to be honest, than the Z, because the Z was very much expected of what it would be, you know, like where we're gonna be like on the streets, and we had to be much more behaved, like I said, because we had Long Beach Highway Patrol when we're on the highways, and we had Long Beach PD when we're on the city streets. So we're dealing with two different groups of officers, and you really want to make sure you don't piss anybody off.
Yo, let's get ready, let's get ready. Arm car, you guys are ready. I'm going to come around and bring
you in. The first thing that we did when we got to Long Beach was the donut shot, which was really cool because it was actually in the lot where we do the Formula Drift Streets of Long Beach course. So, you know, we're starting off ripping donuts where, you know, we normally pit our trailer. So that was really rad because we had this like small area, basically just big enough for donuts, right? And so they really were trying to get this shot of overhead, you know, creating an O. So they had like a 100-foot crane. You know, it had lights on it, cameras on it and everything, it had cameras on the ground. And same thing, it's like, we gotta get this shot, we gotta knock it out fast because we have a sound ordinance, and they really wanted to make sure that it was a nice, you know, perfect circle. And, you know, same thing as like, I'm waiting for the action in the headset, do the move, they tell me when to stop, but like, you know, as I'm going, it's like, you know, the whole place smokes out. So I'm really trying not to lose my place and run through a light, and also try not to just like trail off on the circle. We also can't just put like a cone on the ground, so it's gonna be in the shot, so you have to focus on something. So I'm finding just like a small, like, you know, speck of tar, right? It's like a little black smudge on the ground. That's like my focal point, and I'm just rotating around that. And we basically did that like 3 or 4 times.
Guys, gonna line up behind me, guys. And Sarge, this is me coming out of the black Suburban. I'll line up behind you.
So we got Sean, AD in front, calling the shots on radio 1. And then we got the arm car behind us, open mic behind. So they are, they keep the mic open so the driver can just talk straight to me the whole time, which is cool. And like, yeah, we are moving from location 1 to location 2, which is the tunnel. Yeah. We got police escort, got a couple sheriffs. I don't know, highway patrol is what we got.
We're making a right turn.
Dude, this is so epic. You can see the arm car behind you too. Wow.
Oh yeah. So look, we're getting like a full block off.
All right, here we go, crossing Pine.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, they're blocking the roads for us. This is our own parade.
Down.
You back there? All right, crossing Aquarium Way.
Everyone's looking. Yeah. Check us out. Probably looks so cool from the outside.
No, dude,
Like,
seriously.
Cop car, black SUV, red Z,
Yep.
cop car behind it.
Yup.
Copy. Look how, like, see how the arm tracks?
So
How it's always leading.
yeah.
So when they're taking a turn, he pulls it in and stuff like that. It's like something you gotta be mindful of. You know, the location of the camera.
Oh yeah. How much do you think that thing weighs?
Oh my god, I don't even know. See how he's like swinging it right?
Oh yeah.
Like, basically whenever that thing's on the move, that other guy's driving that arm. Very mindful of where it is. The thing about cars that people don't really realize is that thing, anywhere it goes, it's driving, right? And if it's not driving, it's in a trailer. But when cars are in trailers, they're still bouncing around. The suspension's getting as much wear as if it was driving anyway. It's just you're not putting miles on the motor. But the suspension still takes the same hit. So you can trailer cars all around the country, and unless you strap them down a specific way, and like some race car guys even put, like, they're called bladders, they'll put bladders under the car and fill them with air to push against the bottom of the car.
Ah.
So the straps are, you strap it from the chassis and you pull the suspension down, so you're kind of loading the suspension, then you put a bag under it, you push up against the bottom of the car, and it kind of like holds the car steady.
That makes sense.
That's one way of doing it. Like the other thing that we do, we swap our shocks after every event. So we put on our travel shocks so we don't wear them out. But your bushings are still kind of getting some wear.
So this is a tunnel.
Yeah, yeah.
We just pulled to the right here.
Doing the tunnel drive was really rad because that was, once again, super short run. Trying to listen very clearly to what Tim's calling out for and moving with him quickly. And that was the first time I really got to rip on the Z with all the power adders that it has. And getting those cool shots, getting those flybys, those exhaust tones that they're looking for. You know, we did the shots with the arm car, pulling up and falling back and everything else. And then we got to go back out with just the audio team, mic'd up the car, and just got those poles to get the crisp audio without any other additional sound like the arm car next to us. They always do everything so specific to make sure that you're getting all the right visuals and all the right sounds and even all the right angles. You know, they even, after that, you know, put a couple cameras in the car and had me go do the drive real quick so that we had the shots without seeing the truck in the background. So you basically do everything like 2 to 3 times, not because there was a mistake, but because you're covering all your bases. That was awesome. It's the first time I got to actually like rip on this thing, and it's freaking fast. Way faster than I was expecting with the Nismo mods. This is I'm not trying to sell it here. It's the real deal.
And the rest of the night you're just cruising streets.
Yeah, I mean, like I thought it was gonna be mostly tame for the rest of the night. That got, you know, pretty hot and heavy because they wanted like fast lane changes with like blow-bys. So I'm like working off the, you know, the lens, the arm, because, you know, that thing's only like 3 feet off the nose. You know, we're trying to, like, you know, time, you know, like a move like this, right? So, like, you know, he's in front, I'm behind, and we do like a lane change, and he brakes, and I pull forward, all with an arm swing. You know, the radius of the arm, you know, changes your distance as it comes around, right? So you can't work off the truck. You gotta watch the lens, and, like, you know, it starts to swing. Obviously, it gets longer as it comes towards you. You know, so you have to, like, premeditate that. So it was fun. It was, like, fun to do that all at a pretty high rate of speed. So then when we went over to the bridge, that was technically the highway. So we had a very short window. I think it was 1 hour from like 2 to 3 a.m. where we got to go on the bridge. They closed the whole thing down. And so that was CHP. They came out and they're basically like guiding us back and forth to and from, you know, and they're calling out what they want to do before each run, as in, like, Tim is calling out what he wants to do before each run so that the CHP knows where the vehicles are going to be, so on and so forth. And so there's the one shot, which was really rad, where they actually put the arm car on the opposite lane and they're shooting through, like, the fence, essentially. Tim being such an expert in the field, knowing exactly what he wants to see, and just, like, the efficiency of that guy was just incredible. Like, not only in the car and, like, explaining the shots, but even on the ground back in the shop. Like, he's like the first guy to run and grab a, you know, sandbag or a weight or a different lens, you know. He's got his whole crew there helping, but, like, he's not the type to just sit there and, you know, with his hand down and just, like, wait for it to show up. He's hustling just as hard as them, which was really, really cool to see, because that's definitely one of the hardest working directors I've ever worked with. Paula and the rest of her team on the agency side, where, yeah, they just had, you know, basically everything that they wanted to do, like, all marked out. And it was the only way that we're gonna get all these different shots of all these different parts on 2 different vehicles in 3 different locations done in 4 days. And so it was pretty awesome to see the efficiency of it all. We basically did the truck for 1 day in the shop, the Z for 1 day in the shop, and then the truck on the mountain, and then the Z on the road. As far as the Z on the road, I mean, even with that, technically it was 1 location, Long Beach, but it was essentially like 6 different spots. Got every shot that they wanted to get, and yeah, I mean, the video came out perfect. An amazing time, loved working with the team, and, you know, hoping to do some more projects with them next year. But if you haven't seen the full video, just hit it in the description and check it out.